It was a cold evening. Pause, December 1st, 1955, Montgomery, Alabama. The streets were dim, the air was heavy with the smell of rain and gasoline. Tired workers filled the sidewalks, heading home after another long day. Among them was a quiet, dignified woman. Her name, pause, was Rosa Parks. She worked all day at a department store. Her back ached, her feet hurt. But her spirit? Pause, her spirit was strong. She stepped onto the city bus, just like every other evening. Back then, the law said, black passengers must sit in the back, white passengers in the front. If the front seats filled up, the driver could make a black person give up their seat. That night, the bus filled quickly. The driver, a man Rosa knew all too well, turned around and said, imitating slight male tone, "Y'all better make it light on yourselves, and let me have those seats." 3 black passengers quietly moved. But Rosa, pause, didn't. Voice, softly, slow. She stayed seated. Not out of anger. Not out of defiance. But out of dignity. The driver barked again, threatening to call the police. Rosa looked up, calm and steady, and said, quietly but firm, "You may do that." Moments later, she was arrested. Pause, music shift slightly, slower. That simple act, a woman refusing to move, became the spark that would light the fire of a nation. Fade out sound of bus braking, followed by silence. News of Rosa's arrest spread overnight. The people of Montgomery were angry, but more than that, they were inspired. Civil rights leader E.D. Nixon and a young preacher, just 26 years old, named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., decided enough was enough. They organized something simple, yet powerful. Pause, the Montgomery bus boycott. Flyers were printed. Churches buzzed with whispers. The message was clear. Firm tone, don't ride the buses. Walk. Take a cab. Stay home. Softly. And they did. The next morning, as the sun rose over Montgomery, the buses rolled through the streets almost empty. People walked. To work. To school. To church. In the rain, in the cold, in the heat. For one day. Then 2. Then weeks. Then months. White business owners complained. Bus companies lost money. But the black community stood strong. Voice, emotional tone. It wasn't just about a seat anymore. It was about freedom. It was about dignity. It was about the right to be treated as human. Courage, pause, is never free. And Rosa Parks paid the price. She lost her job. Her husband lost his too. They received death threats. Phone calls in the middle of the night. But still, pause, she stood firm. Her quiet courage gave strength to thousands and to leaders like Dr. King. For 381 days, the people of Montgomery refused to ride the buses. They faced violence, arrests, and hatred. But they kept walking, day after day, step by step, until one day, pause, the world listened. In 1956, the United States Supreme Court ruled that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. Music shifts, brighter tone, triumph rising. Voice, emotional, proud. The boycott was over. But the movement had just begun. Rosa Parks was called the mother of the civil rights movement. But to her, she was just someone who wanted to be treated fairly. Years later, when Rosa Parks was asked why she didn't stand up that day, she said, softly, "I was tired of giving in." Pause. Those words carried across generations. Her simple act reminded the world that change doesn't always begin with loud voices or violence. Sometimes, it begins with one quiet person refusing to move. Inspiring tone. Because courage isn't always about standing tall. Sometimes, it's about sitting still. Her story became a symbol for hope, for equality, for justice. And today, in classrooms, city halls, and hearts across America, her name is spoken, not with sorrow, but with pride. Pause. Voice, inspirational closing tone. So, the next time you feel small, powerless, or unheard, remember Rosa. Remember the woman who sat still, so that millions could finally move forward.